My name's Alex Blencarn. I'm a sales representative with eXp Realty, and I wouldn't purchase a house without knowing these 5 things. Number 2, the heating system. As a realtor, I typically see 4 common heating sources in houses I inspect. Number 1, a furnace with a fuel source. Number 2, an electric baseboard heater. Number 3, a wood stove. Or number 4, a heat pump. Now, today I'd like to go over how each of these systems work and what to look out for if you're purchasing a house with these heating systems. So, number 1, a furnace with a fuel source. This is the most common type of heating system I see in my area of Peterborough, Kawartha Lakes, and Northumberland County. Typically, the fuel source is either gas or propane, but I also see oil and electric furnaces. Generally, these systems work by creating a heat source and then blowing the heat from that burner through ductwork to disperse it throughout the house. Now, the first thing you want to look for when you run into one of these heating systems is the age of the furnace. Typically, these units will last around 25 years, and the age can normally be found in the serial number. Now, typically homes with natural gas have underground piping that delivers gas to the house from the utilities distribution network. In my area, this is normally through a company called Enbridge, and an electric furnace is very similar. However, it uses electricity and it's typically supplied through your hydro company, which is Hydro One in most areas. Propane and oil, on the other hand, must be refilled manually when they run low. Normally, there are companies in the area that provide this service, and you can be on a regular refill schedule or call when you're running low. In terms of maintenance, biannual inspections for all fuel types are encouraged. During this inspection, you want to look at your fuel source, look for any rust or damage to your tank or fuel lines. You also want to look inside the furnace to see if there is any rust or damage inside the unit. Additionally, make sure you change your filter every 3 to 6 months and clean your ducts and test your carbon monoxide detectors. Now, generally speaking, natural gas is the cheapest fuel source to heat your house, but this depends on the efficiency and the age of the furnace and the ductwork distribution throughout the house. Number 2, electric baseboard heaters. Now, this is a fairly straightforward system. Essentially, an electric current passes through metal coils inside the unit. This produces heat, which then radiates from the electric baseboard heater. In terms of maintenance, it's important to make sure there's no debris in or around the baseboard heater, as both of these can become a fire hazard. The next common heat source is a wood stove. Now, a wood stove is essentially how it sounds. It's an indoor fire that you create by burning wood. Now, because it's an indoor fire, there are some safety concerns that you want to look for when you're heating your house with wood. The first thing you'll want to look at is the chimney. It's important to make sure the chimney is swept annually and that the flashing around the chimney was installed correctly, as this is a common area for a roof to leak. Additionally, you want to make sure you are burning seasoned dry hardwood in your wood stove to reduce the buildup of creosote. Creosote is a black sticky substance that collects on the inside of your chimney as you burn, and it can be a major fire hazard if it ignites. Now, wood pricing can vary depending on your area, but generally you can get it for about $300 to $400 per cord. And it's important to know when you are purchasing a house with a wood stove, you can protect yourself by getting a wood energy transfer technology or WET inspection or certificate. Your insurance company will most likely need this before they give you home insurance, and it's basically an inspection that ensures the stove is safe to use. Finally, let's talk about the heat pump. These are becoming more and more common due to their energy efficiency. And in my area, heat pumps are either geothermal or air source. However, air source heat pumps are the most common. So let's talk about those. They work the same as air conditioners work in the summer. Essentially, they use the outdoor air to get rid of heat in the summer, and then they collect the heat from the outdoor air in the winter. These will either come in a ducted or ductless format, and ductless seems to be the most common in my area. Essentially, these are units that are mounted to the wall, and they can release both heat or cooling depending on the set temperature at the thermostat. Now, one thing to note is most air source heat pumps only go down to about -10 or -15 if they're older, and some can go down to -30 if they're newer, at which point the air outside is too cool to provide any heat to the home. Due to this, you will often see secondary heating systems in houses that use air source heat pumps. So, a pro tip: if you are purchasing a house with a heat pump, see if you can get the model number and do some research at home to determine the temperature range. Now, a quick disclaimer: this was a very brief overview of the type of heating systems I see in houses I visit with clients. It's not a comprehensive overview on all heating systems, and if you'd like some more information on any of these systems, I highly recommend speaking with an HVAC professional. So, in summary, when you're looking at a house, always examine the type of heating system. If it's a furnace, look for the heat source and ask the seller about monthly costs. Generally, that's a good idea for any type of heating system. If it's electric baseboard, think about how it will affect your furniture placement. Again, you don't want furniture in front of these baseboard heating units. And if it's a wood stove, ask for a recent WET certification or make your offer conditional on getting a WET certificate. Anyway, that's all for me. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. Again, my name is Alex Blencarn. I'm a sales representative at eXp Realty. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.